and we are going to learn about solving equations with variables on both sides. So last week we did a review of solving two-step equations, and then we learned how to solve equations that involved both distributing and combining. So today, all the equations that we solve will involve having variables on both sides of the equal sign. So let's take a look at question number 1 before I start having you write down the steps. So we have the equation 5x minus 12 is equal to 3x minus 6. So remember, your equal sign separates your left side from your right side. So in this equation, you will notice that we have 5x on the left side and 3x on the right side. We can't have variables on both sides. We need to have them all on one side. So what we're going to do is we're going to eliminate the variable from one side by doing inverse operations. That's going to be our first step. So eliminate the variable term from one side by adding or subtracting whatever is the inverse operation. So in the first one, since my 3x is smaller than my 5x, I'm going to eliminate that one. And the reason why I'm going to eliminate the smaller one is so that I don't have to deal with negative numbers. So right now the 3x is positive, so I'm going to do the inverse and take it away. But if I do it on the right side, I also need to do it on the left side. So I'm going to take away the 3x from the 5x. And now I'm going to perform the operation. So 5x minus 3x is 2x. Then I have to bring down my minus 12 equals the 3x and the minus 3x are now eliminated. And then all I have on the right side is negative 6. Now we have an equation that you should know how to solve at this point. So we have the equation 2x minus 12 is equal to negative 6. So remember, you always want to get the term with the variable by itself by eliminating the constant. So since 12 is being subtracted from 2x, I'm going to add 12 to both sides. So now the 12 is eliminated. I have 2x is equal to negative 6 plus 12 is 6 because they're different signs. And then 2 and x are being multiplied. So the inverse is to divide by 2 to get x is equal to 3. So after I eliminate the variable from one side by adding or subtracting, I'm going to finish solving the equation. Using inverse operations, because now it's a two-step equation. So it becomes something that you've already learned how to do. So let's look at question number 2. So we have 4x plus 20 is equal to 6x plus 24. So I'm going to make a line where my equal sign is for now, just so I can compare my left side with my right side. So I have variables on opposite sides. I have 4x on my left side. I have 6x on my right side. So I need to get the variables to one side by using inverse operations. So since 4x is smaller than 6x, I'm going to take away that 4x. And if I do it on the left side, I have to do it on the right side. And it gets taken away from the 6x because that is where the x is. So now 4x minus 4x is gone. I bring down my positive 20 equals 6x minus 4x is 2x. Bring down my plus 24. So now I have an equation that I already know how to solve. This is your two-step equation. I have 2 steps left in order to get the value of x. So I want to get the 2x by itself, but 24 is being added to it. So I have to do the inverse and subtract 24 from both sides. Remember, you're always working on getting the variable by itself. So the 24 is eliminated. 20 minus 4 is 4, equals, bring down my 2x. And now 2 and x are being multiplied. So the inverse is to divide both sides by 2. 2's divide out, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So x is equal to 2. All right, so next one, number 3. So I have 6x minus 27 is equal to 3c. So here is my equal sign. So I see I had variables on opposite sides. I have 6c on one side, 3c on the other side. So I'm going to solve this one a little bit different. I know in the last two, we eliminated the smaller amount of variable on each, but on question number 3, I noticed that on the right side of my equation, the only thing I have there is a c term. So if I move the 6c to the other side by subtracting it, that means I'll have my variables on one side and my constants on the other, which would make it a lot easier to solve. So I'm going to take away 6c from both sides. So now 6c minus 6c eliminates. I'm left with negative 27 on the left side equals 3c minus 6c is negative 3c. Because they're different signs, I subtract. Since 6 is bigger, I keep that negative sign. So now all that's left to do is divide both sides by negative 3. Because c is being multiplied by negative 3, I have to do the inverse. Negative 27 divided by negative 3 is 9. And then the negative 3's eliminate, leaving me with c. So I have 9 equals c. And number 4, I have 8 minus 7a equals 4a plus 19. So I need to start by eliminating the variable from one side. So on my left side, I notice that there's a minus in front of the 7a, which means that it's negative. On the right side, the 4a doesn't have anything in front of it, which means it's positive. So remember, I said it's better to eliminate the smaller variables so you have less negatives to work with. So because of that, I'm going to eliminate the 7a. Because it's negative, I'm going to do the opposite and do a positive. And if I do it on the left side, I also have to do it on the right side. So I add 7a to both sides. So now negative 7a plus 7a eliminates. That leaves me with 8 on the left side. And on the right side, 4a plus 7a is 11a plus 19. So now I just have to finish solving the equation. So I want to get the 11a by itself, but 19 is being added to it. So I have to do the inverse and subtract 19 from both sides. 8 minus 19 is negative 11. Again, they're different signs, so I subtract. So 19 minus 8 is 11. But since 19 is greater, I'm keeping that negative sign. And that equals 11a. And now since 11 and a are being multiplied, I have to do the inverse and divide both sides by 11. So that gives me a is equal to negative 1. All right, so what I would like you to do now are the try yourself questions, making sure that you are showing your work. And when you have completed that, make sure you submit it to me so I can check to make sure that you are understanding what to do. And then tomorrow we will also spend more time solving these types of equations so you get lots of practice. If you have any questions, make sure you send me a message and I will get right back to you.